Rising, everyone. Happy Saturday. Peace and love. How's everybody doing today? I know it's super early. I'm just testing out to see if I can get some better lighting or something. um, so Grand Rising. Hope everyone has had a great week so far. I think I got a flash. Cool. Okay. So I'll make it a normal. Alright. Come on in, y'all. Grand Rising. Peace and love to everyone. I figured now would be a perfect time to go ahead and get the last few chapters of this book read while I have some quiet time. I know it's fairly early, but the early bird catches the worm. Okay? So, how's everyone? Grand Rising to you all. Make sure you all hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Let me know who shared the channel with you or how did you come to this channel. I truly appreciate everyone's support and all of the beautiful, beautiful comments. It definitely does my heart well. You know, it's always got to be some haters or whatever, but all of the beautiful comments and stuff, it definitely outweighs that. So, Grand Rising to you all. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. I don't know who's watching. So, I don't know if I have any moderators in the room or not, but if I do, thank you for being here. So we're going to pick up on page 119. I know exactly where we left off at this time. Okay? Will not be overreading. Russell. Oseo, welcome, Mr. Russell. How are you? Russell Williams. So chapter 7 is what we're going to pick up on. I hope you guys were able to get caught up on all of the other chapters, all of the other recordings thus far. This is part 5, will be the last part. Okay. So it says the IRS strategy. The IRS operates a clearly defined and very clever scam. Here is how it works. The IRS presumes a fictional, fraudulent, nebulous, libelous, and imaginary assessment against a citizen. 2. The IRS presents this assessment as a notice of tax lien to the county recorder. Number 3, a notice of tax lien is supposed to instruct the tax debtor as to where the actual tax lien can be found, studied, and copied so that it can be challenged if necessary, but the notice of the tax lien never does provide that information because the IRS never produces any tax liens to which a notice could refer. Number 4, an unlawful statute injected into the revised Code of Washington at RCW 60.68.045 by the IRS and uncritically allowed to reside there by legislators, other officers of the government, and citizens, directs the county recorder to enter the notice of tax lien on a tax lien index. But a notice of tax lien does not contain a sworn affidavit assessment and is therefore only a non-negotiable, non-spendable paper instrument, which means that it can be used as money for maturing unchallenged 90 days to procure, seize, and sell property. 6. And a lien, any lien is lawfully constructed, must contain a sworn by affidavit assessment as part of the full disclosure requirement of a negotiable instrument and is therefore a negotiable spendable paper instrument, which means that it can be used as money after maturing unchallenged for 90 days to procure, seize, and sell property. Number 7. Since the IRS never presents a tax lien to the county recorder because IRS agents do not want the liability for presenting a false, fraudulent, nebulous, or a libellous assessment, it must procure or suborn the county recorder to do IRS counterfeiting for it by counterfeiting the appearance of the existence of a tax lien by changing the title from a notice into a lien by unlawfully entering it on the wrong index, a tax lien index. By changing the title from a notice into a lien, the county recorder has converted a non-negotiable, non-spendable paper into negotiable, spendable ledger entry and has therefore counterfeited a currency for the IRS, lacking full disclosure. Number 9. Then all the IRS has to do is ask the county recorder for a certified copy of the tax lien index to prove that a lien has been filed. This certified copy of the Federal Reserve note this certified copy of the tax lien index has the same power in commerce. Shay, what's your zodiac sign? I am a Virgo, Shamari. I'm new to this. What do you suggest for me to learn this stuff? Well, everything I'm pretty much reading right now. You can go through. I have a lot of different literature and stuff on my page that we've been reading. You can also join my Telegram group. You will have to go through a screening. We're learning together, basically. But I say study trust law, study common law, study commercial law, which is what we're reading about now, commercial law. Okay, I got distracted because the comments popped up and was blocking me from being able to read. So it says, number 9, then all the IRS has to do is ask the county recorder for a certified copy of the tax lien index to prove that a lien has been filed. This certified copy of the tax lien index has the same power in commerce as a Federal Reserve note because it can be used as money to do procure, seize, and sell property to transfer from the citizens to the IRS. Once the IRS has the certified copy of the tax lien index implying the filing of a lien, the IRS can begin taking wages, bank accounts, investments, Social Security payments, retirement benefits, houses, cars, and just about anything that will bring cash to the IRS directly or by auction. Number 11, the public, the legal establishment, and the courts are all conditioned by threats of IRS retaliation to do whatever the IRS dictates so the scam is complete. Therefore, there is no remedy through the judicial courts. The only remedy of this problem is to ignore the judicial system and to use the same ancient and timeless system of commerce which the IRS uses, but to use the commercial system lawfully and properly by doing everything with sworn affidavits containing full disclosure. Exodus 20:16. Certified to be the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, by Hartford Van Dyke, a non-union, non-bar association lawyer, not an attorney. He's not an attorney, guys. There's a difference. Okay, IRS personnel. Internal Revenue Service personnel have no authority to levy salaries and wages from privately owned companies. IRS authorities IRS authority is capable or is applicable solely to government agencies and personnel by 26 USC 6331A. It says levy may be made upon the accrued salaries or salary or wages of any officer, employee, or elected official of the United States, the District of Columbia, or any agency or instrumentality of the United States or the District of Columbia by serving a notice of levy on the employer. First, such notices must include a Form 68B, which is the actual levy. Second, only those large businesses and governmental units that have designated officers and written agreements are authorized to receive notices of levy by mail. Third, to complete the levy, another Form 668C, must be served, but cannot be served by mail. It must be served in person. That completes service of notice of levy. Absent Form 668B, there is no evidence that there is a levy. In the event the IRS fails to serve either or both the levy or Form 668C, service of process is incomplete and the IRS defaults. In brief, there can be no seizure before a judgment in a state court is rendered. Okay? Y'all hit those hit those likes. We got 11 people watching. Welcome everyone that's just joining. I need to have 11 likes, please. Thank you. Appreciate everyone. And I want to say I thank you all for your donations, your beautiful donations you've been sending. Thank you all for your beautiful messages. Like I said before, you all are wonderful, and you just keep me motivated to keep doing this, actually. A debt collector may not use, this business corporation is accountable under Title 15 and the USC Section 1692E. A debt collector may not use false, deceptive, or misleading representation. It is a common misconception that the Internal Revenue Service is part of the United States government, but in fact is a private corporation. Through fraud, manipulation, conspiracy, deceit, and impersonation of law enforcement, the IRS has become an organized crime syndicate operating illegally in every state of this union. There are three major elements of this organized crime as follows. 1. Extortionate credit transactions, 18 USC 891 through 894. This is the common practice of IRS agents to threaten, coerce, intimidate, and force the people to pay a debt that the IRS fabricates out of thin air and cannot lawfully establish. There is no due process of law allowed. Those who oppose the tax are prosecuted by U.S. attorneys who are more than willing to engage in conspiracy against rights. 18 U.S.C. 241. For the profits they receive from the money they extort within the fraud. 18 U.S.C. 1001. Of claiming to collect a debt that is owed, whereas in fact no debt to the IRS can be lawfully established. It cannot be lawfully established that an American, because we're not citizens, owes this corporation anything. All claims that they do are fraud. Y'all see that? All claims that they do are fraud. Number 2, seizure of property without due process, violation of the Fourth Amendment. It has become the common practice of the IRS to file levies against personal property without any judicial process. These levies are filed with the recorder of deeds, okay, who has established the common practice of allowing levies of the IRS to be recorded without a judgment signed by the judge, lawfully required for the filing of a levy, 26 USC 6330. So make sure you guys are writing these codes down and going and looking them up, okay? Because these are actual, United States codes in the, their statutes and codes and things like that. You want to know these because they do help you. Later, the agent returns to the recorder of deeds and obtains a certified copy of the alleged lien that they present to the sheriff for seizure of the property. The sheriffs and deputies are duped into enforcing this bogus lien and violating the American without due process of law in violation of the Fourth Amendment. It is the responsibility of every sheriff to enforce any levy not supported by a judgment signed by a judge. Every sheriff has denied due process of law. In every instance, he has exercised the levy without judgment of the court. Number 3, seizure of bank accounts, income without due process, violation of Fourth Amendment. It has become the common practice of the IRS to seize bank accounts and income of the Americans without any due process of law. As clearly evident by the attached letters, the IRS has taken $133.20 from David Anderson, who was not informed or given the right to respond because he would have disputed the debt because the debt has been paid in full. The IRS claims they have rights to property of private citizens or private Americans, should I say, and enforce those rights without judicial process, thus establishing organized crime for profit. Lawful challenge to the Secretary of the Treasury for the United States of America clearly indicated the IRS is fraudulently operating under the designation of the Department of the Treasury. As a corporation, the IRS cannot lawfully misrepresent itself to the public by declaring itself to be a part of the U.S. government. This act is probably by 15 U.S.C. Code 1690. This act is prohibited. By 15 U.S.C. 1692E. Unless the Secretary of the Treasury for the United States of America is willing to state under penalty of perjury that he has given government authority to the IRS, a private for-profit corporation, and willing to accept accountability for all acts of illegal seizures by the corporation, the IRS is clearly engaged in conspiracy to defraud the public by leading the public to believe they are a part of the U.S. government. This deception is being supported by the U.S. Department of the Treasury, clearly shown by the attached letter by this government acting on behalf of the IRS without any due process of law. Either the Secretary will confirm or deny the IRS's government status, and our representatives must take action accordingly. Our United States representatives are responsible to stop this organized crime and to date have remained silent. The people have the right of protection of law and the systems being operated by the IRS are clearly a deprivation of due process of law. When criminals are engaged in organized crime and doing so under fraudulent authority by declaring themselves government, when in fact they are not, they are causing the people to despise their government and judge it by the conduct of the IRS agents. All IRS agents are lawfully challenged as foreign agents under 22 U.S.C. 611. They have no authority of law other than that of a debt collector under Title 15 of the United States Code. Either our current representatives will remove the unlawful conduct of the IRS, or we must impeach that representative and replace him with a representative who will perform the duties of the public office in accordance with law. IRS agents are also enemies of the people. Giving IRS agents aid and comfort establishes the crimes of treason. All civil officers are subject to impeachment for this crime under Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of America. Felony crimes are being reported to our representatives. Refusal to inform the proper authorities is the crime of misprision of felony, 18 U.S.C. 4. Whoever having knowledge of the actual commission of a felony cognizable by a court of the United States conceals and does not as soon as possible make known the same to some judge or other person in civil military authority under the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. Okay? Debt validation, chapter 11. Let me get those likes up. Let me check these chats too. Grand Rising Gigi, welcome. Abel, Texas says, Shay Marie, when I become a millionaire from this info, I'm give you $50,000. No, there's no need. There's no need at all. We all have our own money. We're all kings and queens around here, and we don't even know it. We're all rich within ourselves, and we have unlimited credit. Everybody has a trust. Every single last one of us has a trust. If you have a birth certificate, you have a trust. If you have a social security number, you have a trust. And obviously, if you don't know it by now, that trust has been accumulating lots of interest. So you're very very wealthy. Our ancestors left us an inheritance that we don't know anything about until now, and so this is really what this is about. If you're an indigenous person to this land, if your ancestors originated from here, this is your land. And the truth of the matter is, all of this information is about us. If your skin is my same color, if you're a copper colored individual, you're a melanated person, then we're all brothers and sisters. And this is our land, not only America's, but we originated all over the planet. We are the original people. And so this is, the earth is ours and the fullness thereof. And, those are some of the things that the Bible was trying to tell us. Yeah, we did have dominion. I always used to say this when I was going to church. I would be in there like, well, didn't God say we had dominion? And then it'd be like yeah, but. And it's like, it shouldn't be no buts. You know what I mean? So I had to wake up to the fact that, that shit wasn't what it really was cropped up to be. So it's time to wake up and come out of Babylon and claim back what's rightfully ours. I know I got off subject, but I just wanted to let you all know that if you don't know that, this is our land. And we gotta fight for it. Peace, Kamal. Peace. You're a new member in the group. Yep, okay. So I'm gonna keep reading. Shay, the Illuminati doesn't want us to find this. Well, guess what? The Illuminati is just a front. The people that are really behind this are the people that look like are actually people that look like us, you guys. It's the story and the history that's been told to us is wrong, and you gotta I said this before. You guys should look up a gentleman called it's all type of research you can do out there, but look up a gentleman called Rod Hayes. Rod with a D. Look him up. He's like an oracle for the land. Okay, and he's telling it like it is about our true history. There's others out there, that have been doing it before he came on the scene, but he's not sugarcoating the motherfucking thing. So, um, Shay, they programmed us in high school. No, they programmed us long before high school. Every aspect of our lives has programming attached to it, from the time we were born, the things that they did, the time that we came out of our mother's womb, them rushing us out of the way that we were birthed into this world is a violation of our true ancestral history, um, or I say mystery, but um, so like everything they did, they basically wanted us to come into this world as tortured beings because we are divine beings. And they wanted to reverse that and make us evil like them. Um, so every aspect of our lives, they've learned how to conquer. But we're taking it back, y'all. We're taking it back. We're taking it back. So, debt validation. Let's move on. The ultimate weapon. Shay Marie. There. Yes, I'm gonna say yes, and yes, they are brothers and sisters. Yes, they are. Absolutely. If you know the story about the Mayans, those are our people. So they are, a branch of us. We were the actual original Mayans, our people, in that area. Okay. If a collection account, it says debt validation, the ultimate weapon against the collection agencies. If a collection account comes into your life, you've heard about it in one of the three ways. One, it came up as a listing on your credit report, or two, you received a telephone call from a collection agency. Three, you got a letter in the mail. You could try to settle the debt with a collection agency, but you might want to try debt validation first. The best defense against debt collectors is often debt validation. Why? Because the collection agency may not even be legally entitled to collect the debt from you. You, Joe, Bob, and money borrowed. Let us say you borrowed money from your friend Joe. Joe would be the creditor of this debt, the original creditor. And let's say this time has gone by. Let's say time has gone by and you think you might still owe Joe money, although you're not sure how much. One day, a guy named Bob comes up to you and says that he is collecting the money that you owe Joe. Bob is acting like a collection agency for a credit card company would act. Think about it. How, having never met Bob before, would you just hand over your cash to him? No. Or at least I hope you would not. Exactly. You should have these questions in mind to ask Bob. Pay attention to these questions, y'all. Okay? These, so people keep saying, what should I do? The readings are telling you what you should do. So I hope you all are paying close attention and taking good notes, because it's giving you a lot of good advice on what you should do. And no, this isn't legal advice or, anything like that. But at the same time, it's basically giving you some ideas. Okay? So make sure you guys are paying attention. Islam Messiah L. Abel, Texas says, Shay Marie, what do you think happens when a person passed away? What happens? Well, when someone passes away, their soul still continues to live on. And that really depends on them. And if they, have learned how to master themselves and ascend in a way where they don't have to come back to this life. Um, and I've heard the secret to that is not to go into the light when you do transition, but to go into the dark. Um, but our souls our souls still live on, and we reincarnate and come back to this earth, and yeah, because we haven't learned, there's life lessons that we haven't learned or whatever. So I am my ancestor. You are your ancestor, technically. We are reincarnated beings that came back here to finish what our ancestors didn't. You know, so we are our ancestors, you guys. And that's if you have soul. If you have a soul, because everybody doesn't have a soul either. Okay. What legal document exists to prove that Bob is legally authorized to collect money for Joe? So that's the question you would ask Bob. What legal document does he have to prove that he is legally authorized to collect money for Joe? Then you would ask him how much is the actual debt. You can also ask what payments have already been made on the account. You also ask where is the accounting of the debt, including all interest and fees. Are these fees and interest amounts legitimate? You will ask, do you really owe Joe the money? You remember borrowing money from your friend Sam at the same time. You remember paying one of them back the next day. Is this the debt you borrowed from Sam or Joe? Where is the contract showing the terms of the loan with Joe and the contract with Sam? At the very minimum, you should phone Joe or Sam to ask about the loan. You should have the same thoughts about the collection agency who sends you a bill for a debt that you may or may not owe. Don't panic. If you receive a phone call or a letter from a collection agency, your first reaction may be to panic. Calm down and think about the situation. Ignore all of the fancy language and legal terms that the collection agency uses to collect. Think of what questions you would ask Bob in our example. If you do, you'll know exactly what to ask a collection agency, Bob in our example, to validate an alleged debt. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Debt validation is a legal procedure which is spelled out by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or the FDCPA. It matters if the alleged claim is from the original creditor, Joe, or collection agency, Bob. The FDCPA does not cover collection tactics used by the original creditors, like credit card companies who issue credit cards. It only governs the actions of debt collectors, collection agencies. Let's look at the definition of these two groups as defined by the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, FDCPA. Title 5, Debt Collection Practices Act. Subsection 803, definition 15 U.S.C. 1692A. 4. The term creditor means a person who offers or extends credit, creating a debt, or to whom a debt is owed, by which term does not include any person that receives an assignment or transfer of a debt that is in default solely for the purpose of facilitating collection of such debt for another person. So some of the words that you would want to look up is the legal definition or the banking definition of assignment, to understand what that means, because assignment is not like the definition in legal terms, because you got to remember this stuff is legalese. So you got to look up the definitions and like the legal definitions. What happens to their corporate entity or trust when they still make money off of it? If you got parents living, if you have parents that have transitioned, they're still making money off their trust. And you can actually go and claim that estate. Um, it is said that you are to take the death certificate for your loved one if you're the next to kin to the probate court. So you go down to the probate in your county and tell them you want an on and off ledger of the estate for that for your loved one, for that vessel that you just brought in. And the vessel would be the death certificate. Okay? Tell them you want an on and off ledger for the estate. On and off ledger for the estate. And you would like to claim all of the interest and security. Shay Marie, so my parents sold me into slavery when they signed the... Yes, unknowingly they did. They didn't know that that's what they were doing. Oh no, how evil. Yes. You can't blame them though. They didn't know any better. I did it to my children too, and if you have children, you probably did it to yours. So we've all done it, and that's something that we all have to forgive ourselves of and just correct the wrong. Correct what we did wrong, you guys. And it can be corrected. It's not the end of the world. Okay? So it says, um, this means that as far as the FDCPA is concerned, a creditor is the original entity which loaned money to a consumer. The collection agency is not the creditor. The definition of a debt collector is as follows. The term debt collector means any person who uses any instrumentality of interstate commerce or the mails in any business. The principal purpose um I'm sorry. The principal purpose of which is the collection of any debts, or who regularly collects or attempts to collect directly or indirectly debts owed or due or asserted to be owed or due another. So when a collection agency is assigned or has purchased your debt, they are not the creditor. They are the debt collector. And the actions they take are all governed by the FDCPA. Okay? So you do have remedy. You have a way to defend yourself and protect yourself and get this situation resolved. It says, what if the person asking you for the money, Bob, is a lawyer? Under the FDCPA, even if Joe hires a law firm or lawyer to collect a debt from you, of the law firm of lawyer is still considered a collector and must adhere to the FDCPA. Okay, so it's basically saying if the collection company hires a lawyer, there's the lawyer or the law firm that the lawyer works for is still considered a collection company, okay, or a collection agency. What does a debt collector? What does a debt collector need to provide as debt validation? So take notes, guys. And let me get those likes up. I got 11 people watching and I only have 9 likes. If you haven't liked the video, please like and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Share this out too, y'all. Share this out. Everybody needs to know this. Yeah. Well, all right. All right. It says, number 1, proof that the collection company owns the debt or has been assigned the debt. Okay. Bob is legally entitled to collect a debt he owes or he owns or has been assigned from you. This is basic contract law. It is very difficult to get a judgment without a direct contract between collection agency and the original creditor. 2, at a minimum, some account statements from the original creditor. So you can pin them down on the amount of debt by requiring complete payment history, starting with the original creditor. How did Bob calculate his alleged debt? What fees, interest has Bob tacked on, and how he determined these amounts? This requirement was established by the case Field versus Wilbur Law Firm, USCA 02C0072, 7th Circuit Court, September 2004. Number 3, copy of the original wet ink signed loan agreement or credit card application. Your contract with Joe establishing the debt between him and you, account statements from the original date can fulfill these requirements. What does Bob get out of the deal? It used to be in most cases that creditors assigned, not sold, its debt to a collection agency, but not anymore. Creditors hire collection agencies or collection companies like Bob to collect debts for them because they simply don't have the time or resources to chase down all their severely overdue accounts. Collection agencies maintain cheap labor and a streamlined system to pursue such accounts. When a creditor hires a collection agency, the debt has been assigned to the collection agency. If so, notice that that word assigned is like in bold. So that's like a word, like I said, you want to look up the definition of that and look up the legal definition of sold. If a collection agency is successful in collecting the money on the account, they usually keep a percentage of what is collected as payment for services. Original creditors sometimes sells debt in large portfolios for collection agencies. This is starting to be the norm, and several of these companies called junk debt buyers, JDBs, are now being traded on Wall Street. The companies do not spend much money for these debts, sometimes paying less than 1 cent on the dollar. Wow. Even if the debt is not a large debt, they often hire attorneys to send out mass form letters to debtors in the hopes of collecting. As you can see, even if they get a small percentage of the debtors to pay, profits can be enormous. Why should you care if a debt is purchased or assigned? So it says assigned or purchased debt. How do you know Bob is the right guy to pay? Why should you care if the debt is purchased or assigned? In an assignment, the collection agency does not own the debt, and therefore you do not technically owe them any money. There is no way for a collection agency to prove that you owe them money because there is only an assignment of the debt and not a contract between you and the creditor. One loophole, some contracts have the wording debtor agrees to be responsible for payment of this debt to creditor or its assigns. This is a contract between you and the debt collector as well as the creditor, and if they can provide you with a copy of a contract that states this with your wet ink signature, you are pretty much stuck and need to negotiate the debt. What if the collection agency Bob proves they purchased the debt? Is he now the original creditor and no longer subject to the FDCPA? If they do purchase the debt, this does not make them the original creditor. They are still a debt collector covered by the FDCPA. Continue to treat any collection agency, junk debtor buyer, or law firm who says they own the debt as a collection agency subject to the FDCPA. You can still request validation and proof of the purchase because if they can't validate it, the collection agency can't prove you owe the debt. Often, a JDB will lie telling a consumer that since they purchased the debt, they are not subject to the FDCPA. This simply is not true. The right to validate your debt. Under the FDCPA, you are allowed to validate this debt, and the creditor in this case, the collection agency, must show you proof that you owe the debt to the collection agency, not the original creditor. Section 809, validation of debts, 15 U.S.C. 1692 G. B. If the consumer notifies the debt collector in writing within 30 days period within the 30-day period prescribed described in subsection A that the debt or any portion thereof is disputed, or that the consumer requests the name and address of the original creditor, the debt collector shall cease collection of the debt or any disputed portion thereof until the debt collector obtains verification of the debt or any company of a judgment or the name and address of the original creditor, and a copy of such verification or judgment or name and address of the original creditor is mailed to the consumer by the collector. This also must show positive proof that you owe them in debt. You owe them this debt. It's not enough to send you a computer generated printout of the debt. So if a creditor can't validate a debt, they are not allowed to collect the debt. They are not allowed to contact you about the debt, and they are not allowed to report it under the Fair Debt or the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA. Doing so is a violation of FCRA, and the FCRA states that you can sue for $1,000 in damages for any violation of the act. An opinion letter of the FTC clearly spells out that a collection agency cannot report a debt to the credit bureaus which has not been validated. Okay? You guys can look up that link there for that information, the ftc.gov statuses, FDCPA letters, cases, okay? Or cas.htm. It says the opinion letter also states that you can sue in federal or state court. So if you have them on a violation, then you have damages of $1,000 for the incident plus damages. Small claims court. Small claims court, anyone? What do you... I'm sorry, 1 second. Shay Marie, YouTube is suppressing your views. Every person that teaches this has low views. Well, that may very well be, but surprisingly my channel, it could be more, I don't know. My channel has been definitely growing since I've been doing this consecutively and consistently with you all over the past few months. So I don't know. I really don't keep a major track of that information. I really just trying to get the information out, but that's why I'm asking you all to share it, like and share. That's what the thumbs ups are for. When you subscribe and you like and share, that helps my algorithm to grow. Okay, so I'm really not worried about YouTube as long as you guys are helping out to get the information out, because we gotta help each other at this point. What to do if a collection agency responds to your request for validation with a summons to appear? Some collection agencies are starting to respond to validation requests with a summons to appear in court. Precedent has been established that a collection agency cannot file suit against you if they haven't validated the debt within the initial 30-day period. If this happens to you, you may cite the case Spears versus Brennan. This appeals court determined. Plaintiff Brennan, who was the collection agency attorney, violated U.S. 15 U.S.C. 1692 G.B. when he obtained a default judgment against defendant Spears after Spears had notified Brennan in writing that the debt was being disputed before Brennan had mailed verification of the debt to Spears. This means that you have an absolute defense in court to deny them judgment if they still have not validated the debt. Once you get your FDCPA dispute letter in, the collector cannot even get a judgment until they satisfy the FDCPA law. The appeals court overturned the default summary judgment in part because the collection agency lawyer did not meet the rules of the FDCPA. This could be grounds for getting a default judgment vacated. It's also another violation of the FDCPA, and you can collect $1,000 per incident from them. So yes, this is definitely true. And a person that's definitely teaching this, I would recommend you guys, if you guys want to go into more details about the Fair Credit or Fair Debt Collection Practices and the FCRA, and how to, make your claims in this way, go look up the Bureau Bullies. Those guys are awesome. Look up the Bureau Bullies. Okay? They're melanated like us, young black and well, I can't say black, young copper colored uh, people just like us, and they're doing a damn thing. Okay, so I always recommend people that are doing the work. You know, that's important. Debt validation in 7 steps. Are collection agencies harassing you with repeated calls? Are you sure they're legally entitled to collect the debt? Before you make a payment, find out the collection agency has the right to collect the alleged debt. This is where debt validation can help you out. Check the topics given below if you want to know what debt validation is all about. What is a debt? What is a validation of debt? Debt validation is where you try to find out whether the collection agency has the legal right to collect on the debt by asking them to provide you with the proof of claim. The FDCPA, Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, gives you the right to seek validation from a collection agency that is not the original creditor. The FDCPA does not govern collection practices of original creditors. If there is a time limit for validation of debt, or is there a time limit for validation of debt? Under the FDCPA, debt collection or debt collectors agencies or CAs, collection agencies, are required to send you a debt validation notice within 5 days of contacting you to collect a debt. The notice informs you that you have the right to dispute the debt within 30 days of receiving the letter. If you don't dispute the debt or request validation of the debt within 30-day period, the collector has the legal right to assume that you agree to the debt is valid. What details do you get with debt validation? When you try to validate a debt, the collection agency must provide you with certain details. They are: 1. Proof that the CA owns your debt. You must get written proof that your account has been sold or assigned to the CA. 2. Your payment history. You'll also get a copy of your current account payment history. This will help you verify the total amount you owe, including any fees being added to your debt. You should also find out how the CA has calculated these extra fees. Number 3, copy your original contract. This is intended to prove to prove to you that you agreed to the debt. If they do not provide you with a copy of the original agreement, the CA must also provide you with the account statement from the original creditor instead. Okay? What are the steps in validation of debt? Okay, pay attention, guys. What are the 7 steps? It says check out these 7 steps to validate your debt with and deal with collectors and credit reporting agency CRAs. Number 1, you want to request a validation. Send a request to the CA asking them to validate your debt. Check out the sample debt validation letter, page XX. So we'll take a look at that after we finish this. To learn how to format the letter. The letter should be sent via certified mail with a return receipt request. Number 2, you want to check the CA is licensed. So you want to make sure that they're licensed and you will need to wait for a reply from the CA. The agency may send you a letter with the details you asked for. While you wait for a response, you should check to see if your state requires CAs to be licensed, and if so, whether the CA you are dealing with is licensed. The states that do not require CA licensing are Georgia, California, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina. Number 3, what if the CA violates collection laws? If the collector needs a license to collect debt in your state and they aren't licensed, send them a letter notifying they are violating your state's collection law. You should also inform them that if they continue to attempt collection, they may be facing a lawsuit and pay fines to your state. What to do if the CA doesn't validate the debt? If the CA doesn't send you satisfactory proof, then you need to send them the documents below. You need to send them a copy of your validation demand letter. You need to send them a copy of your postal return receipt, and you need to send them a statement that the CA has violated the FDCPA. Under FDCPA, if the collection agency doesn't validate your debt, then they can no longer collect payment and they are required to stop contacting you. Remove collection listings. I hope y'all guys are getting this. Remove collection listings. Under the FCRA, collection agencies should not report a negative entry to the CRA's credit reporting agencies such as TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If the CA does not validate your debt, send a letter to the collection agency asking them to remove the collection listing. Also inform them that if they do not remove the collection listing, you might sue them for violation of the FDCPA. Wait 15 to 20 days for a reply from the collector. They'll either remove the negative listing or they won't respond at all. Sue the collector if listing isn't removed. If the collectors don't remove the collection listing from your report, then you can file a lawsuit because they have violated the FDCPA. Before you file the lawsuit, inform the CRAs that the CA is refusing to remove the collection listing. Know how to deal with the CRAs. If the CRAs, which are the credit reporting agencies, verify the collection listing. If they verify the listing, you'll have verification that the CA has the right to collect the debt. If the CR validates the debt, you should send them proof that the CA has refused to respond to your attempts. I'm sorry, let me read that again. If the CRA validates the debt, you should send them proof that the CA has refused to respond to your attempts to validate the debt and therefore is violating the FDCPA. If the CRA refuses to send you the validation information they have received from the CA, you should include them in your suit against the CA for validation violation of the FDCPA. All these tongue twisters. Can you dispute the debt after validation period? You can send in a validation letter to your CA after the 30-day period, but the collectors aren't legally obligated to reply or stop collection efforts. So, you shouldn't dispute any debt after the validation period has expired. Debt assigned to CA. How does it affect validation? If your debt is assigned to a CA, they may not be the legal owner of the debt. Sometimes, if a debt has been assigned to a CA, it means they have purchased the account from the original creditor, and sometimes it means that the creditor has hired the CA to collect the debt for them. When you validate the debt, you should find out how the CA and the original creditor are connected and who has the power to agree to a settlement or a payment plan. How do validation and debt verification differ? If they validate the debt, the collector is required to send a copy of your agreement with the original creditor. If you are trying debt verification, the collector only needs to provide you with a written statement with the name and addresses of the original creditor and the amount you owe. The time you have to verify a debt is similar to the time you have to validate the debt. Under the FDCPA, CAs must stop collection activities as soon as they receive your request for validation or verification within the 30-day period. They can resume collection efforts only after they've sent you satisfactory proof that you owe the debt. With debt validation, you can avoid harassment by collection agencies by verifying whether you legally owe the money. Once the CA verifies your debt, it is easier for you to plan how to pay back the money you owe. Always be sure you know and enforce your rights if the CA refuses to validate or verify the debt. Okay? Hit those like buttons. Welcome all new watchers, all new viewers that just joining us. Grand Rising Norm from British Columbia. Grand Rising to everybody. Okay, we're gonna get through this book today, y'all. It's only a few more pages left. Actually, I think we got this one last chapter. Okay, so we're gonna talk about debt validation strategy, chapter 13. Okay. All right. Let me get those likes up. I need 14 likes to match the number of views. Once I get a match, I'll keep reading. Thank you very much for you all's cooperation and love. I need one more like, one more like, one more like. Come on, I know y'all. Uh-oh. Now I need 2 more likes. If you're just tuning in, let me get the like. Good morning from Colorado Springs. Good morning, Rachel. Welcome. I need one more like, y'all. Hit the like button. All right, I'll keep on going. We close. All right. All right, y'all got it. There we go. Thank y'all. All right, so debt validation. Dispute the collection with the credit bureaus. Look up the statutes of limitations, SOL, on the debt. If the debt is, damn, that's what SOL means? I used to say it means shit out of luck. If the debt is past the statute of limitations, send them a letter informing them that they are trying to collect zombie debt. This is debt which is too old to have any legal liability for a consumer. Here is a sample letter for this. If the collection agency does not remove the listing after you point out the SOL, sometimes your only remedy is to sue them. If the debt is not past the statutes of limitations, send a letter requesting validation to the collection agency. Our buddy Bob in the preceding example in the last chapter, if you don't know the address of the collection agency, here is a tip to help you find it. Wait 30 days to hear back from the collection agency. Most likely they will not respond, or they will respond saying that they received your letter, but only with one of the following, not all 3. Proof that the collection company owns the debt or has been assigned the debt, copies of statements from the original creditor, and copies of the original wet ink signed loan agreement or card application. If they haven't sent you satisfactory proof and are still reporting this on your report, send a copy of your receipt for your registered mail. a copy of your first letter you sent, and a copy and a statement that they have not compiled or complied with the FDCPA and are now in violation of the act. Tell them that they need to immediately remove the collection listing from the credit report, or you are going to file a lawsuit against them because they will also be in violation of the FDCPA Section 809B. Wait 15 to 20 days to hear back after this second letter to the collection agency. So if I were you, just pausing right there. If I were you, I would actually end the letter, say you have 15 to 20 days, or well, no, say you're either going to put 15 or 20. Don't put 15 to 20. You don't want to give them a range at all. So always make it either or, 15 or 20, however nice you want to be. Okay? Me, I wouldn't give them that long, but that's just me. Um, so keep moving forward, because I teach people in my class about the postal rule. Um, the postal rule is a very nice. It basically means that once they receive the letter, um, once they receive the letter and they sign that green card, this is why they're telling you to get a return receipt, green card, because that's your evidence, and it is proof of receivership, pretty much. So they can't ever say they signed it, because once them or one of their agents signs that green card, it's a wrap. Okay. If you believe that they are not licensed and licensing is required in your state, write them another letter and tell them they are in violation of your state's collection laws and are subject to prosecution and fines. Cite your state's fines and procedures in the letter. This is the last ditch effort but has worked in some cases. Typically, your work will stop here, as most debt collection agencies will bow down to your demands and send you a letter agreeing to remove the listing. Now all you have to do is send a copy of the letter to the CRAs or credit reporting agencies. If the collection agency did not agree to remove the listing, then you need to continue to the next step. File a lawsuit in small claims court against the collection agency on the basis of violating the FDCPA. Have the papers served to the collection agency. You can find a paper server on the internet for about $25. Here is a good link: 1-800-SERVE them. So it's serve-em.com/service map .html. Okay. In the meantime, in a parallel effort with your lawsuit against the collection agency, if the collection comes back as verified from the credit bureaus, you now have proof of further collection activity from the collection agency. The assumption is that the credit bureau contacted the collection agency to verify the debt. Since the collection agency did not validate the debt, further collection activity is a violation of the FDCPA. Contact the credit bureaus and tell them that the creditors did not verify the debts under the FDCPA and send copies of your proof. Request the method of verification, which is your right under FCRA. It is crucial to contact the credit bureaus before filing a lawsuit. Make sure you state that the collection agency did not respond to your request for debt validation. You can try sending them this letter to see if they will budge. They may tell you that the request needs to come from the creditor. This is baloney. If they can't give you reasonable information on how they verified the information, conclude there was no reasonable investigation performed. They are teetering on the edge of willful noncompliance under the FCRA. Tell them so. File a suit in either small claims, state, or federal court. The basis of the lawsuit should be that the credit bureaus could not provide a satisfactory method of verification or did not conduct a reasonable investigation. Have the paper served. You can find a paper server on the internet for about $25. Here's a great link where you can search for the local office of the credit bureau near you. The link is so I hope you guys can see that. Let me get a little closer. So that's the link. Notify the bureaus that you are suing them. You can use this letter. The credit bureaus will call the creditors and find out that there is a question about whether the debt is legitimate. They should delete it immediately. If you want more legal ammo, you might also try looking up similar cases to cite. We have a list of online legal resources. I hope these tips have encouraged you. Good luck on pursuing financial freedom. So I'm gonna let you all get a look at this letter, but we are gonna read it. It says sample letter requesting validation of debt. Under the FDCPA, you have the right to ask for for validity of the debt that the collection agency says you owe to them. You'll need the debt validation letter in order to challenge the validity of the alleged debt. Given below is the sample debt validation letter for you to understand how to request in writing for validation of debt. So as you just formulate a letter, you guys, your information at the top in the center of the page. You're going to put their information on the left hand side of the page. Okay? And then it'll be regarding account number. Okay? You'll say, Dear Sir and Madam, this is to inform you that I recently pulled my credit report and noticed that there are collection listings from your agency on my credit report. I have never been notified of this collection action or that I owe the debt. This letter is to inform you that I would like to have a verification of the debt and your ability to collect this money from me. Under the FDCPA, I have the right to request a validation of debt. I request that you prove that I am indeed the party who is contractually obligated to pay off this debt. Please be aware that reporting any invalidated information to major credit bureaus may constitute defamation of character. In addition, also be aware that until you validate this debt, you cannot continue collection activities or report this information to the credit bureaus. Non-compliance with this request may place your company in serious legal trouble with the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and other state federal agencies. Please attach copies of the following documents. You want agreement with your client that authorizes you to collect on this alleged debt. Agreement that bears signature of the alleged debtor where he promises to pay the original creditor. Complete payment history on this account to prove that the amount you wish to collect is accurate. And then you put sincerely, sign your name, and then write your name, print it out underneath your signature. It says the wicked man does deceptive work, but to him who sows righteousness will be a sure reward. Proverbs 11:18. I'm gonna read that again. The wicked man does not. Why I keep saying does not. The wicked man does deceptive work, but to him who sows righteousness will be a sure reward. Ashe. It is presumptuous, irresponsible, and a violation of due process of law to cite a section from a code that is not enacted into positive law. Example of titles of the USC code or U.S. code that are not enacted in positive law include Title 26 from the Internal Revenue Code. See, this is how they trap us up. 1 USC 204. So other publications. So these are just some links, y'all. Um, I don't think these links work. I haven't necessarily looked them up. But that is the end of the book. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's see. Thank you. I found you when looking up the straw man and you were reading that book to us. Absolutely, Judith. She says, Abel, this is for every race. It's for humans in America. Absolutely, it is for every race. It is. However, the original people of this land are the superiors to the land, actually, whether you know it or not, Miss Judith. Our parents didn't know about the birth certificate signing. Everything they did was a trick on us all. Absolutely. That's fact. Yep, so we can't blame our parents because we've pretty much all done the same thing, for generations. And this is basically what the generational curses are about. We definitely have some deep-rooted generational curses, but this is basically how it all started. Okay? So we have to break those curses. I'm going to turn this flash off now. Okay, we have to break those curses and you know, right our wrongs as well, because we've had a lot to play in this, whether we knew it or not. So we can't just sit back and say, well, it's their fault, they should be the ones responsible. No, we have to take some responsibility as well. How do we chat other ways? um you can join the community, or you can send me an email me at shaymarieinc@gmail.com. And then we can talk there. Because anyone who would like to join Freedom Writers, um, I am doing screenings at this point. I'm not just allowing anyone into my community, and it has to be this way because I've had some disturbing little things happen in my classes. So I'm just trying to cut out on all of the confusion, cut out on all of the infiltration that's trying to take place within our communities, and people trying to stop us from claiming what it belongs to us. And so, yes, just send me an email. So I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. I know it's a little bit slow today, and I had to take my time reading those chapters, last few chapters. It's very detailed. I want to go back. I have done some debt validation processes, and it has cleaned up some of my credit. And so this just gives me, I've been doing so many different things, so many different processes, working on a lot of stuff. So now I want to go back and do some more debt validation letters, and use this strategy from this book, which is pretty much the same strategy that I was using, but now it gives me a better sense of direction as well. So this is the stuff that we're learning in the community and Freedom Writers. We're working together to do it. We're going over documents and getting stuff done so everyone can have an understanding and understanding, the same type of understanding and understanding that I was able to gain from the neat reading of this knowledge. So it's Shay Marie. It's SHAYMARIEINC@gmail.com. Shay Marie Inc. My son helped me clean my credit up. That's beautiful, Miss Vicky. Very wonderful. Yeah, I still have some work to do on mine. So, even though to me it really doesn't matter, but it'll help. It'll help. It'll help. It most definitely will help till I'm able to reach the ultimate goal, which is having full faith and credit and having access to my total estate. So yeah, I got to get back to that. You guys, if you'd like to make a donation, it is greatly appreciated. You can do so by Cash App, or send me an email for the Cash App, or you can email it. You can send it through Zelle or through Chime if you're a Chime user, at my same email address, shaymarieinc@gmail.com. Your donations are greatly appreciated, and they definitely come in handy. Yes, it's just sitting there not being used. Your credit, well, if you have some good credit, I would use it. And I would, you know what you want to do is just to keep it. If you have a credit card, or you want to order a credit card or whatever, the main thing you want to do is keep it at a 30% spending. So you don't want to spend no more than 30% a month, and you always want to pay it back. So if you could pay towards the balance of it, every month, and just pay that 30% back, then that'll keep your credit score, keep your credit score where it's at, and even raise it. Miss Vicky said yes. Yeah. I mean, everything is credit. We have to look. I mean, everything is credit. So if you have a credit card, use it, because that's really actually money. And then eventually, if you, I think Miss Vicky, you're in my community, so eventually, you guys will begin to understand that more. That everything is basically credit. There is no money. So your credit card is actually money, and you can actually start building up unlimited credit if you have a credit card. Um, I know a gentleman was saying that a secured credit card would be best, to get a secured credit card and put your own $200 on it, or start it off with 200. Or if you do a business one, you could start off with like 1,000 and start building that up. And then every time you're spending your credit card, but when you get pay, you're gonna pay the credit card balance off right away. So when you get your money, you're not taking the check to buy or pay your bills and stuff like that. You're using your credit card, so that all of your expenses begin to be put on that credit card. And then that will build up your credit, because the more you pay, the as long as you're paying the balance off or every month, uh that will begin to raise your credit score, and then they'll begin to offer you more credit, and you'll be able to get a higher credit. And as long as you keep doing that and just constantly paying it back, that'll build your credit up, and then you'll have unlimited credit card pretty much. And I have kind of a gentleman I have a video that from a gentleman that's teaching that. So I'll probably put that in my community group for you guys to listen to, if you're interested. Or if you're interested, just message me on Telegram. If you are on Telegram, you can also message me on there privately. Just look up at Shay Marie Inc., same as the email, but it's without the at Gmail. So it's at Shay Marie Inc. You should be able to find me, and I'm under Empress Shay Marie there. Okay. So if you have a Telegram account, you should be able to look me up there. And then I've started a library. So we have a Freedom Writers library, where I have tons of reading materials for people that if you want to read, whether it's spiritual books, books about law, books about all type of things that you want to learn about, real, magic, all type of things that you can learn about. Okay. Because I'm trying to advocate more reading. We got to get back to empowering our minds. Our minds are the most powerful things. Our minds are computers. We don't know this, but our minds are literally computers. And that's where they're creating AI from, or artificial intelligence. So it's from the consciousness of the mind. So I hope you guys are understanding that. And you get, you understand that. So I'm gonna get off of here, you guys. It was great. It was great being able to chat it up with you all today. We're going to start this book next week. I was going to do asset protection, but I was drawn to this book, so I think I want to read this. It's a huge book too, y'all. This book is huge. It's like, you see how wide it is compared to the book we were reading. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna start reading this. As you can see, I've already read some of it and highlighted some places. Okay, so we're gonna read this. It's all illustrated with beautiful pictures. Well, not beautiful pictures with these evil bastards, but we should be able to get through this pretty fast because the words are big and everything. But I thought it would be quite interesting for us to read. Money, is it money? Very interesting. Okay. They said it's a two-step national fraud dance, y'all. Wow. The two-step. These little motherfuckers. They try to take everything that we originate. Man, that's crazy. Alright, so is there some way to get the same book you have? Yeah, I order all my books. Majority of my books I ordered from Amazon. And I had just ordered like a whole bunch of books. I had ordered like over $500 worth of books, y'all, last year. I had just decided to make an investment, so I had just ordered like $500 worth of books at one time. And so I had a huge box of books delivered to me at the same damn time. They all didn't come at the same time because, Amazon's delivery at, times are different and depending on what warehouse it's coming from. But yeah, that's basically how I got how my library shelf started getting full with all of those books that I started ordering. Um, this is the asset protection book that I was going to read. It talks about trust, pure trust, and setting up your trust. Some of the other books that we've read, if you guys check the recordings, because last year our community was coming on every Sunday and doing reading. So we read The Hardcore Redemption in Law, Commercial Freedom Release. That's by David E. Robinson. And most of these books are by the same author, as you can see. We also read New Beginning Study Course, Connect the Dots and See. So you guys want to go listen to that. We also read Give Yourself Credit, Money Doesn't Grow on Trees. I definitely want to read that too. We haven't read that yet. So these are the books that we haven't read. And then I got tons of other stuff that we've read on the channel already. So these are just some of the books, y'all. That's just some of them. Like a book list. So how can we read along? Oh, well, I don't like books like this. Well, actually, this book I just in the library, Miss Vicky. This book I did just put a PDF of this in the and I might come on my laptop since I have the PDF and pull it up on the laptop and do a screen share that way so that you guys can read along from that with me. Okay? I might do that with you all. Oh wow, it has this UCC1 document in here. Oh yeah, this is going to be a real interesting read. This is the financial statement, the Federal Reserve. Oh, this is that oh yeah. This is that UCC statement that um, we have found. I don't think this is the exact one. Let me see. It could be. Y'all see the amounts that they pledged. They this is the UCC. Yeah, here it goes right here. The financing statement covers. Listen to what it says. This financing statement covers timber to be collateral. It says, okay, let me start over. It says, this financing statement covers um, fixture filing. It says, as all men, all real men with hands and legs, all real land and assets in the United States of America, 14, I think that's like trillion, we got 100,000, was that a million, billion, like quadrillion, 14 quadrillion dollars was drawn up on the backs of the people, you guys. It says this note is legal tender. This note is legal tender. This is the financing statement that they put into motion to basically monetize all of us, all of our labor, all of our existence. And this is not the only one. This is just like, this was from 2013. I can't believe I had this whole time in this book. I haven't had a chance to read this entire book. As you see, I did start it because I have highlighted in it. This is wild. Wow, wow, wow. Isn't that something, y'all? It said all real men with hands and legs. With trust in God, this real estate is within the public. Shay, I can't wait become wealthy and free myself. Well, you are already wealthy. You got to know it first. You are already wealthy, so you got to manifest it into reality now. And that's by getting this work done, getting this knowledge and putting in that work to do what you need to do. Okay? Because it's just not going to come to you. Got to get yourself in order. Okay? Oh, look at this. It's got a whole list of Duns and Bradstreet numbers for each state. Oh, look at that, y'all. All this time. It's got the Duns number for Detroit. Oh, wow. I actually have this list. I can't believe this was in this book and I've had it sitting here this whole time. It's amazing if you just open up a damn book and see what the fuck is in it. I didn't go through the entire thing, and if I did, I didn't know what I was looking at the time. Now I know. It's crazy. This is crazy. Wow. I can't wait to read this next week, y'all. We're gonna go over this. Most definitely. Okay. And I'll try to see if I can find some of these other books like Asset Protection and Give Yourself Credit. I'll try to see if I can find those on PDF too. Pretty good at finding stuff. Shay, I bought about $400 worth of books of David Robinson from Amazon. You just bought? Okay, that's awesome. Awesome, Mr. Abel. Beautiful. That's what it needs to read. Gotta read. So, with that being said, y'all, thank y'all again. What is that book? It's called You Know Something is Wrong When An American Affidavit of Profitable Cause by Anna Maria Reisinger and James Clinton Belcher. And it's just basically talking about what you can do with this book. It says you can change the world. Give copies to the bureaucrats, local, states, and federal. Remind them of who they really work for. So this is going to let us know how we can empower ourselves with those people that work for us. So this is going to go into more detail about, their positions and what they're supposed to be doing. Pretty much, I'm believing. I can't remember, y'all. I read this book last year sometime, so I really can't remember exactly the details of it, but we're definitely going to get into it next week. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get off of here. You're welcome. You're welcome. I subscribe to your channel on all me 3 phones. Okay, Abel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate you. My page has definitely been blowing up. Like I said, I'm at like over 3,200 subscribers. And I don't get monetized, y'all. I don't want to get monetized because if I do, they're definitely going to start blocking what I'm putting out, the information. So I had to explain that to my 15-year-old son, not like last week. He's like, why you ain't monetizing your channel? And I'm like, because, son, if I do that, then they're going to try to start censoring me. I'm like, I'll be blessed. My people, if they appreciate the work that I'm doing, they'll bless me. They'll send donations, and so that's definitely what's been happening, and I appreciate you all. All money ain't good money, So I just want to do what's right, get this information out here, and so my people can be taken care of. We've been hurting too long. All of us been hurting too long. So I love you all. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. And have a beautiful beginning. I'm going to probably take a nap, or I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. Cereal bowl. Cereal bowl. Sweet name. Welcome. Peace to you. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, y'all day, or whatever. And don't do too much partying. Y'all need to be getting in these books. Stay in the books. Stay at them clubs. Yeah, stay at the clubs, y'all. It ain't nothing but trouble in the streets. Ain't nothing but trouble in the streets. Y'all need to have y'all head in these books as much as y'all possibly can. As much as you possibly can. All right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace and love. See y'all next week. The club is a distraction. Facts. The TV is turn off the TV because that's a distraction unless you're watching educational stuff. Stop listening to the radio because they're fucking up your frequency with all that badass music that they're playing. So thank you for reading these books. I'm on the road right now. Oh, okay. You must be a truck driver. My husband is a truck driver, so I know all about it. And that's another reason why I decided to do this, because people be driving, don't have time to read, and when you finish driving out there on the road, y'all too tired to want to pick up a book and read. I've been driving for 7, 6, 8 hours throughout the day, some more than that. So I get it. That's what I'm here for. So y'all know, send me some love. Make sure y'all send me some donations as well. Return the reciprocity, the law of reciprocity, and we're gonna grow together, y'all. We're gonna grow together. We all in this together. We need to raise our vibrationals. Oh yes, we most definitely do. So y'all need to check out y'all definitely want to join the community, because we don't only just come and have classes. We have meditations on Wednesday. I told y'all about that before, just to help with healing and raising the vibrations and connecting the collective conscious. Okay, so make sure y'all want to email me so y'all can get into the community with everyone else. You know, we are really gathering a group of beautiful people. We had fun on our last class this past Thursday. It was so much fun because I gave everyone a quiz and we had a winner and we gave away a prize. So, you know, it's definitely fun. We just not doing the boring reading and stuff like that. We're definitely having fun and, you know, talking about, you know, our futures and how we want to build our communities and, you know, rebuild our communities back up and stuff like that. So we're not just we're definitely building a family of everyone around the world. I have people from Belize, there's people from Trinidad and Tobago. uh it's just beautiful, guys. We're connecting as a whole and growing. So I'm, you know, just humbly satisfied with the way things have been going and happy. And I invite, you know, you all as well. I only want to take on 100 people, but if the universe leads me to do more, then I will. But I think if I take on the first 100, I will equip you all to do what you need to do. So go help 100, and then those 100 help 100, and that's how I'm going to be able to reach more people by, you know, just where I am. So, you know, I know I can't help or reach and save everybody, but I'm just trying to do my part and then empowering everybody else to do theirs as well. Another thing that I wanted to address is your precious metals. If you are not saving silver and gold, you definitely want to start. So, you know, go look up on my page. If you go directly to my page, there's the first video where I'm showing all of my assets, and well, not all of them, but some of my precious metals collection. And it talks about how you can start doing the same thing. Where can we buy gold and silver? I'm telling you now. I have a couple of options, but one of the main options is on my page. So, like I said, email me, y'all. Connect with me. Don't hesitate to connect with me. I'm a very resourceful person, very resourceful, and I try to solve problems. So, you know, there is answers out here for everyone's solutions. So just connect. Don't go through life thinking there's no way out, because there is answers for every problem. With that being said, I love you all. I'm gonna get off here. I need to get me some water. Let me see. Did anyone else say something? Is my email address? I'm gonna say it again. Is Shay Marie, SHayMarieinc at gmail.com. Shay Marie Inc. at gmail.com. Shay Marie Inc. at gmail.com. Okay? That's how you can email me. All right, guys. It's been great. I'm going to get some relaxation on right now. I love y'all. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. I would type I can't type in this chat, so if somebody else can do it for me, that would be great. Who already has emailed me. You could type the email in the chat for me, for everyone. Or I'll just do it after the call, after the video goes off. But it's been wonderful, you all. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in today. I enjoyed this time together with you. Hope you enjoyed me as well. With that being said, peace and love, Islam, Ashe. You guys have a beautiful day.